everyone. You're welcome to my channel, BGFF Snail channel. My name is Grace Oregbemile. This morning I'll be talking on the treatment of soil for snail pens. The treatment of soil for snail pens. Alright, we know that the soil is a very important factor when it comes to rearing of snails because it's their major habitat. The soil determines their productivity, determines their mortality rate. So it is very important that you take care of the soil. This morning here you can see I have the head pan, the gas cooker, my bucket of sand. The recommended soil for snail farming is the loamy soil. You can see the black soil, the humus soil. Here, loamy soil or the humus soil. This is the recommended soil for snail farming that we usually put in the snail pen. You can't use clay soil because it is too acidic one and it can easily get waterlogged. And if it's waterlogged, the snails can drown. Also, you can't use sandy soil because one, it doesn't retain water. I know the snails, they like places that retain water, that is cool and damp. That's why the recommended kind of soil is this loamy soil or humus soil, black soil. So once you've gotten your soil, and this soil must be the type that things can grow on, the type that they plant things on. Like now, if you plant tomatoes or anything on this kind of soil, it will grow very well, it will be very fertile. That is the kind of soil you use. When you get your soil, if I know snail farming, you really have to make do with whatever you have. Like now, I'm using a gas cooker, this small gas cooker, and a head pan. But for some of you at home, you can decide to use a big pot, like those pots they use for Owambe party. You can decide to use that pot and the cover, use it here. You can also decide to use a metal bucket to heat your. So whatever you have, that's why the snail farming is very good, because you can make do with materials that you have at home. Like this, I have a head pan at home, so I usually use this head pan, use my gas cooker. You can decide to use a charcoal stove, you can decide to use your firewood to heat this sand. So going on to the different methods of treating of this soil. The first one is heating of the soil. Like what I'm doing now, subjecting the soil to heat. That way, you are able to kill the ants. See, this earthworms, millipedes, all that are inside the sand. You are able to kill it because the heat is going down right to the bottom. This is one method. There are two other methods of treatment of soil. The other method was the one I used during my last video, where I showed you how to submerge the soil with boiling water. In that method, you just take your soil, pour it into the pen, and then you get water, boil it to its boiling point, and now pour in the soil. That's one method. And the third method is to get hot ash. When you have your hot ash from freshly burnt firewood, you mix it with the soil. That is also another method of treatment of soil. But I recommend this method because I feel it is the best method, because the heat goes down. As the bottom is getting hot, you are turning it, bringing that up, so that the heat circulates around the whole head pan, and whatever is inside, from the ants to larvae to eggs of ants, millipedes, earthworms, all are gotten rid of. Everywhere is hot. You can see some dead earthworms, dead millipede, and so. Snail farming, there's no medicinal cure for the treatment of snails. There's no medicinal cure for the treatment of snails. So you have to really follow all the best management practices from the beginning to avoid mortality. This method might be cumbersome, but because it is done like once in 3 months, it's not done often. Once you pour this soil in the pens, you don't change it till after 3 months. So I think I advise this method for anybody that wants to do treatment of soil, especially for this kind of small scale, not too large rearing of snails. Once your soil is hot, what I do is I still sieve it, though this is optional. I sieve it here. Why? To bring out stones, big woods, and all that are inside. That's why I usually sieve it in this. Sieve it for you to see here. So these big stones and particles that are not required will be thrown away, while the smooth one will be here. That is what I usually do. Then after sieving the whole thing, I now go and pour it in the pen. Allow it to get cooled. When it cools down, I now sprinkle it with water. Sprinkle it with water. After sprinkling it with water, it is now ready for stocking of snails. Usually, I allow it for between 12 to 24 hours before I now stock the snails into that particular pen. So this is how I treat my soil before pouring it into the snail pen and before stocking it with my snails. I will show you an example of one of my snails. I'll show you an example of one of my snail pens. This is the sand. This is the sand. This is the sand, and this is the snails. This is an already filled pen. I've poured sand, and this is the dry leaves. You can see it very well. Alright, today we've talked on treatment of soil. I hope you've been able to grasp everything I've said for today pertaining to the treatment of soil used for snail farming. Thank you very much. You can like, subscribe to my channel, turn on your notifications so that anytime I post a new video, you get the alert. You can also call me on 0803 645 1033. Thank you and God bless.